I picked up the pop star known to the world as Luna at exactly 3:33 a.m. on a Tuesday. By 3:34, she was gone. And when I say gone, I don't mean she opened the door and ran into the night. I don't mean she tucked and rolled out of a moving vehicle. I don't mean she vanished into the fog like a ghost story. I mean, the fundamental laws of physics simply stopped working in the back seat of my sedan. 1 second she was there. I could see her in the rearview mirror. I could smell her expensive perfume mixed with the metallic scent of fear. She was screaming, begging for her life, clutching her phone like it was the only anchor keeping her attached to this reality. And the next second, there was a flash of blue light. A light so bright, so intense. It didn't just blind me. It burned the lens of my dashcam. It felt like the air itself had caught fire. And then, absolute suffocating silence. The police say I'm a person of interest. The news channels are calling me a kidnapper. The internet sleuths are tearing my life apart, frame by frame, analyzing my route, my history, my sanity. But they don't know about the recording. They don't know that my phone was synced to the car's Bluetooth system. It recorded everything. The audio didn't cut out when the video did. And what she said in those final 10 seconds, before the light took her, it wasn't English. It wasn't even human. It was the sound of a soul being violently ripped out of a body. And the worst part, the part that keeps me awake, staring at the ceiling until the sun comes up, I still hear it. Every night, when I drive past that empty stretch of canyon road, the recording starts playing by itself through the car speakers. Even though I deleted it, even though I smashed the phone with a hammer and buried it, it still plays, and it's getting louder. I've been driving for Ride for 3 years. When you drive the graveyard shift in Los Angeles, you stop being a person. You become a ghost. You become a confessional booth on wheels. You see the city with its makeup off. You see the drunks stumbling out of West Hollywood clubs, the tearful breakups on Santa Monica Boulevard, the businessmen doing cocaine in the back seat while on calls with their wives. You learn to be invisible. You learn to just be a pair of eyes in the rearview mirror, watching the tragedy of the city unfold in red taillights. That night, October 14th, felt wrong from the start. It was quiet, unnaturally quiet. Usually the radio is full of chatter, sirens are wailing in the distance, the hum of the freeway never stops. But that night, a heavy fog had rolled down from the Hollywood Hills. It wasn't normal mist. It was thick, gray, and oily. It blanketed the streets, swallowing the streetlights. You couldn't see 5 feet in front of your bumper. The city felt like it was holding its breath, waiting for something terrible to happen. I was about to clock out. My eyes were burning from the strain of squinting through the fog. My lower back was throbbing. I just wanted to go home, heat up some leftovers, and sleep for 12 hours. Then my app pinged. The sound was so loud in the silence of the car that I actually jumped. I looked at the screen. The passenger name wasn't a name. It was just listed as VIP guest. No profile picture. Just a generic silhouette. And a perfect 5.0 rating. The pickup location was the Obsidian Gate on Mulholland Drive. I knew Mulholland. I knew the mansions up there. But I had never heard of the Obsidian Gate. And the destination? It just said nowhere. Literally. The word nowhere was typed into the destination field. I stared at it. I tapped the screen thinking it was a glitch, a joke, some drunk kid at a party messing with the app. But then I saw the fare. The surge price was locked in at 10 times the normal rate. It was enough money to pay my rent for 2 months. Enough to fix the transmission that had been slipping. Greed is a funny thing. It overrides your survival instinct. It whispers that everything will be fine. So against the knot of dread forming in my stomach, I accepted. As I drove up the winding, treacherous roads of Mulholland, the atmosphere changed. The air pressure dropped. My ears popped painfully. My radio started acting up. I was listening to a true crime podcast, but the audio kept skipping. It started looping. Then it started reversing. For a moment through the static, I swore I heard a whisper. A woman's voice, crying, cutting through the noise. Turn back, turn back. I turned the radio off. My hands were sweating on the leather wheel. Just the signal, I told myself. Just the canyon walls blocking the reception. I pulled up to the coordinates. The gate was a monstrosity. It wasn't just a driveway gate. It was 20 feet high, made of black wrought iron, twisted into shapes that looked less like decorations and more like warning symbols. Thorns, spirals, eyes. It loomed out of the fog like the mouth of a beast waiting to be fed. There was no house visible behind it, just an endless wall of swirling gray mist. I put the car in park. I waited. And then, she came running out of the fog. I recognized her immediately. It was impossible not to. It was Luna, the pop star of the year, the face of a generation, the girl whose face was plastered on every billboard on the Sunset Strip, whose eyes stared down from the sides of buses, the girl with the purple eyes and the voice that critics said sounded like angels singing. But she didn't look like a star tonight. She didn't look like the retouched goddess on the magazine covers. She looked like a hunted animal. She was wearing a silver dress that must have cost more than my car, but it was torn at the shoulder, hanging off her frame. Her mascara was smeared down her cheeks in thick black oily streaks, like war paint gone wrong. She was barefoot. I watched her run across the gravel. Her feet were bleeding. She didn't even seem to notice the pain. She reached my car and threw the back door open with desperate strength. She practically dove onto the back seat. She didn't say hello. She didn't check the license plate. She screamed, "Drive. Just drive. Don't look at the house. Go." I didn't ask questions. The panic in her voice was contagious. It triggered my fight-or-flight response. I slammed on the gas. My tires screeched on the wet asphalt, spinning for a second before gripping the road. The car fishtailed, then shot forward. I looked in the rearview mirror, my heart pounding against my ribs like a hammer. "Where are we going, miss?" I asked, trying to keep my voice steady. "Where do you want me to take you?" She wasn't sitting up. She was curled into a tight ball on the floor of the back seat, shaking violently. She was clutching her phone so tight her knuckles were white, like she was trying to crush it. She whispered one word, "Away." Then she looked up, and for the first time our eyes met in the mirror. Her famous purple eyes, the ones everyone thought were colored contacts or CGI, they weren't fake. In the dim green light of the dashboard, I saw them glowing, faintly, like deep ocean bioluminescence. They didn't look human, they looked like portals, she said, away from the signal. "They turned it on, they turned the tower on. They know I left." "Who?" I asked. "Who is chasing you? The paparazzi?" She let out a dry, bitter laugh that sounded like glass breaking. "The architects," she said. "The label, the ones who gave me this voice. They want it back." I didn't read the fine print, driver. I didn't know the expiration date was tonight. We were speeding down the canyon, taking sharp curves way too fast. My tires were skimming the edge of the cliff. Below us, the city lights were just a blur of colors. Luna sat up. She started tapping furiously on her phone. Her fingers were moving so fast, they were a blur. She muttered to herself, repeating a mantra. "I need to record this. I need to leave a trace. If they take me, the fans need to know." "Know what?" I asked. "Miss Luna, we should go to the police." "No police," she shrieked. "They own the police. They own the networks. They own the satellites." She looked at me with those glowing eyes. "The songs, do you listen to my songs?" "Yes," I said. "My daughter loves them." "Tell her to stop," she whispered. "Tell her to burn the albums. They aren't songs. They are spells. They are frequencies disguised as melodies. We are harvesting energy. Every concert, every stream, we feed them. We are just batteries, driver, pretty, singing batteries." She hit record on her voice notes app. I can still recite every word she said. I've listened to it 1,000 times in my nightmares. I've analyzed every breath, every pause. She held the phone to her lips, her voice echoing and desperate. She said, "My name is Luna. If you are hearing this, the contract is void. I am breaking the seventh seal. The industry, it is a farm. We are the livestock. And when we run dry, when we try to leave, or when we start to remember who we really were before the surgery, they initiate the recall protocol." She paused then. She looked out the back window. Her face went pale, draining of all color. She whispered, "Oh God, they are coming. Not in a car. They are coming through the light." The air in the car changed instantly. It didn't just get cold, it got heavy. My ears popped violently, like we had just dropped 10,000 feet in altitude in a single second. The pressure was intense, pressing against my temples, and the smell of ozone filled the cabin. That sharp electric smell of a thunderstorm right before lightning strikes. It tasted like battery acid on my tongue. My dashboard lights started to flicker. The speedometer went crazy, the needle jumping from 60 to 0, then spinning all the way to 200, then dropping back to 60. The GPS screen turned bright green. The map of Los Angeles disappeared. Instead, lines of green binary code started scrolling down the screen. Fast. Faster than a computer could read. 0101010101. Asset located. 01010101. Convergence. I yelled back at her, panic rising in my throat. "What is happening? What is that smell?" Luna screamed. She didn't answer my question. She just yelled, "It's the beam. Don't let it touch you. Whatever you do, don't let the blue light touch your skin." I looked in the rearview mirror. Behind us, chasing us down the winding road, was a light. It wasn't headlights. It wasn't a police spotlight. It was a focused vertical beam of blue-white light, descending from the clouds. It was moving along the road like a searchlight from a UFO, but there was no ship, just the light, and there was no engine sound. There was just a low, vibrating hum. Vera minum 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 minum. It was a sound you felt in your teeth. My fillings started to vibrate. The fillings in my molars started to ache. It was getting closer. It was moving faster than the car could go. It was eating up the asphalt behind us. Luna lunged forward. She grabbed my shoulder. Her hand felt like ice. It felt like grabbing a bag of frozen peas. She shouted, "Take the phone. Keep the recording. Do not let them delete it. You are the witness." She threw her phone into the front passenger seat. It skidded across the leather and fell onto the floor mat. I shouted at her, "What are you doing? Hide." She looked at me. Her face was resigned, sad, ancient. She whispered, "I can't outrun the signal. I signed in blood, driver. They are just collecting the debt." The hum became deafening. My windows started to crack from the vibration. Spiderwebs of glass appeared in the corners of the windshield. The blue light flooded the car. It was blinding. Pure, agonizing white-blue light.
I couldn't see the road anymore. I couldn't see my hands. I slammed on the brakes to avoid driving off the cliff. The car skidded, fishtailing on the gravel, coming to a halt, inches from the edge. I shielded my eyes from the glare with my arm. I yelled her name, Luna. I turned around to look at the back seat. The light wasn't filling the whole car. It was focused entirely on her. It was coming through the roof of the car, as if the metal and fabric weren't even there. It passed through the roof like it was made of smoke. Luna was floating. She was hovering 3 inches off the leather seat. Her arms were spread wide. Her back was arched. Her head thrown back. Her mouth was open in a silent scream, but no sound was coming out. And then, she began to disintegrate. It wasn't like in the movies where they fade away or turn transparent. She turned into pixels. I watched her skin break apart into tiny square blocks of digital static. Her silver dress turned into liquid mercury. Her hair turned into beams of fiber optic light. She shattered into a million tiny glowing specks of dust. And then, zap, a sound like a massive circuit breaker tripping. The light vanished. The hum stopped instantly. The car was dark, silent. I was alone on the side of the road. The fog was swirling around the windows. The back door was locked. The windows were up, but the back seat was empty, except for a small pile of silver glitter from her dress, and the smell of burnt ozone and sulfur. I drove straight to the police station. I didn't stop. I ran every red light. I was shaking so hard I could barely hold the steering wheel. I was crying hysterically, hyperventilating. I ran into the precinct and told them everything. I grabbed the desk sergeant by the collar. I told him about the light, the beam, the disappearance. I gave them the memory card from my Dashcam. But when they played the footage, my blood ran cold. The video showed me driving. It showed me looking terrified. It showed me talking. But I was talking to an empty seat. There was no Luna. There was no blue light. There was no floating. Just me, screaming at nothing. Just me, swerving on the road for no reason. They interrogated me for 12 hours. They locked me in a room with no windows. They drug tested me twice. They searched my car for DNA, for blood, for hair. They found nothing. No fingerprints, no glitter. The detective looked at me with pity. He told me I had a psychotic break induced by exhaustion. He told me Luna was safe at home in her mansion. He even showed me a tweet she supposedly posted 10 minutes ago. It was a selfie of her in bed, saying, "Sleepy girl, good night moon." But I looked at the photo, her eyes. In the photo, her eyes were dull, flat. The light behind them was gone. That wasn't Luna, that was a shell. I walked out of the station a broken man. They took my license. They suspended my ride account. But I know the truth, because I have the phone. The police didn't find it. It had slid under the passenger seat, wedged deep in the mechanics. I found it the next day when I was cleaning the car. I pressed play on the voice note. The recording is longer than what I heard in the car. The recording kept going after she disappeared. For 10 seconds after the light took her, the phone recorded the sound of where she went. It wasn't silence. It was a sound of thousands of voices screaming in agony. It sounded like a choir of the damned, singing in a cathedral made of black ice. And underneath the screaming, I heard a mechanical voice. Hold. Indifferent. It said, asset reclaimed. Reset complete. Memory wipe initiated. I still have the phone. I wrapped it in 3 layers of aluminum foil. I keep it in a lead box I bought online, hidden under the floorboards of my closet. But sometimes, when I'm driving late at night, my car speakers turn on by themselves, and I hear her voice echoing through the car. The contract is void. I'm posting this video because I think they found me. There has been a black van with tinted windows parked outside my apartment for 3 days. It never moves, but the engine is always running. And last night my Dashcam turned on by itself. It recorded me sleeping in my bed. I live on the 2nd floor. If I disappear, if you see a news report that I died in a car accident, or if I suddenly come back and say this was all a prank, don't believe it. Luna didn't die. She was repossessed. And the industry isn't selling you music. They are selling you the frequency of their prisoners. They are harvesting us. And the harvest is almost over. Panicked,